eCreator was not the first wide-scale Ponzi scheme to enter the borders of Zimbabwe, but it was much more well thought out than the last one. if you had already forgotten. eCreator crafted a convincing story that they are an e-commerce company focused on the global internet. And for credibility, they put a face to the scheme and had appearances on mainstream media primarily focusing on the big return on investments if you are to invest in it.
eCreator inzira yechizvino-zvino is a contemporary way of earning money. What you only need is your mobile device. Your mobile device, the internet, then you start earning daily.
Boy oh boy did it work. Now thanks to some sources we got an inside look into how it worked, the mechanics of it. It may get technical in some places, but bear with me. The e-commerce shop was one that was being pushed as an e-commerce opportunity for its members. Lazada and Zalando are online stores where eCreator members posted reviews on products they had never used, a common practice with e-commerce stores and some individual sellers. There is a market for posting fake reviews where a seller will offer a rate payment for reviews of their products online, even if the ratings are coming from people who have not used the products.
Hi, I'm good. I'm selling a video game console on Amazon. People don't seem to like it.
How many reviews have on your product?
There's currently only one review and it's a bad review.
You want to remove the bad one or you want to add more positive review on your product?
Wow, you can remove the bad one.
We can try.
How many positive reviews can you add?
How many you need?
50 or 100?
Yes, I can do it.
It's quite interesting that no authority questioned the legality of posting reviews of products you have not used before. Regardless, that was all just a facade. The real money was being made in the so-called investments. The system was layered and comprised of different classes of participants. Right at the bottom are the funders of the system, the investors, the managers, and any individual who had an account with eCreator and was actively making deposits and withdrawals. Then there were facilitators, EcoCash agents who withdrew money from the eCreator system for the individuals at the top of the scheme. Then of course, the guys at the top of the system who were not residing in Zimbabwe who would receive money siphoned from the system as Bitcoin, which according to our sources was not Zhao. But Zhao's part in the system was pretty significant. For it to all work, there were three key parts to the system. There needed to be a steady inflow of cash that was greater than the outflow to extend the scheme for as long as possible. There needed to be an efficient system to manage the flow of cash, investors' balances, and profits and withdrawal requests. The amount of money being siphoned out of the system needed to be managed. Take more out of the system than the net deposits into the system and the whole thing collapses prematurely. Because, well, no Ponzi scheme lasts forever. Mainstream media did a lot of work for the first part of the system. It got many people to believe it was legitimate, and this then secured a healthy stream of depositors into the system. So healthy, in fact, that they had to open branches in several towns across the country. The second part is where Zhao comes in. Zhao was the manager of the operations on the ground right here in Zimbabwe. He was the one monitoring the system and communicating updates to Thomas, who is said to have been residing outside of Zim. It is said that eCreator was making use of SIM boxes, devices that can accommodate multiple SIM cards and run them all at the same time, like a big phone with like 500 SIM slots. The number of SIM cards in use by eCreator exceeded 200, with each one of them having an EcoCash account attached to it. These are the accounts that were used to receive money from eCreator investors, to fulfill withdrawal requests from said investors, and of course, accounts that Thomas was siphoning from. Since the brainchild of eCreator, Thomas, was said to be residing outside of Zimbabwe, the easiest way to get their loot under the radar was through cryptocurrency. According to our source, they would, with the help of EcoCash agents, transfer large amounts of US dollars from eCreator's EcoCash accounts to EcoCash wallets of cryptocurrency traders in Zimbabwe. The US dollars would be converted to cryptocurrency and deposited into the cryptocurrency wallet of this alleged Thomas. It all fell apart when Zhao got greedy, according to our sources, and made a mass withdrawal beyond what the deposits into the system could handle. It produced a domino effect where withdrawals were now taking longer than usual to get approved. With some time, the system would have eventually stabilized. However, the volume of withdrawal requests started ballooning as more and more investors became uneasy and impatient. This further lengthened the waiting period. That then is around the time when a statement was issued by eCreator claiming that they were running a scheduled system upgrade, with the whole thing becoming undone just a few days later when another announcement was made that Zhao was trying to leave with people's money. And that is what we believe from the sources we spoke to is how eCreator worked. A very organized system where money went into it, a bit was creamed off the top, and the balance was left in the system to keep it going and attract new investors to put more money into it. This Ponzi scheme had so much promise in how it started. It showed that the scammers are learning and evolving and actually putting effort into this hustle to get it to be more sustainable than the last one. And Zhao's greed with eCreator definitely was a big factor in it prematurely dying. Just off the top of my head, it probably had another 6 months to a year before it fell through. If Zhao had not been greedy, the system would have still gone on, but with the same inevitable end waiting for it. Those who still remember MMM will remember that the way in which it all crumbled and died was that withdrawal requests were now taking longer and longer to process, from a few minutes today, to a few hours tomorrow, to a few days next week, up until investors were waiting for months on end with no withdrawal approval. A Ponzi scheme survives and thrives with new investors coming into the system. It's these new and first-time investors that fund the profits of existing members and keep the scheme sustainable, which is why joining it first gets you very big rewards. But this market of new investors has a ceiling. The number of people available is finite, and as soon as you saturate the market, the money stops coming into that scheme. And when that happens, the profits cannot be fulfilled for existing members. So the time taken for withdrawals to be approved becomes increasingly long, and you know how that story goes. It's different from network marketing because with network marketing, there is a commodity, a product that is being sold. The profits from selling that product are the profits shared between the network marketing scheme and the marketers or investors. So they tend to outlast Ponzi schemes by quite a good margin. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching.